Nestled in the foothills of the Alps, Lake Como offers dramatic mountain views and deep blue water that look like they belong in a painting. Many explore this area as a day trip from Milan, as you can easily reach it by train in approximately 1 hour. However, we decided to spend a couple days in Lake Como so that we could sit back and relax in one of the most breathtaking, beautiful places in the world. Here are a few things I would recommend if you are visiting Lake Como for a few days. First, I recommend staying in the town of Como, and I say this for a couple reasons. One, the cost of your accommodations are going to be relatively less expensive in Como than if you look for lodging in towns like Bellagio, Verona, or any of the other smaller towns that dot the coastline of Lake Como. We loved our place in Como, where we had our own private balcony with a view of the lake and mountains, and it costs much less than the other accommodations I priced out for nearby towns on Lake Como. The second reason I would recommend staying in Como is its convenient location. Como has direct train connections from Milan and other major cities, making it much easier to reach, especially if you're traveling by public transport or arriving from the airport. Plus, no need to rely on ferry schedules or transfers, which can be limiting in smaller towns. Como also is a major hub for the ferry that has frequent departures to visit the other small towns, making it a great base for exploring the Lake Como area. Finally, I would recommend staying in Como because of the amenities it offers. It is a much larger town than places like Menaggio. There is more variety of hotels, restaurants, shops, and local grocery stores. It may not be as picturesque as Verona, but it is still a beautiful coastal town providing more options for travelers to choose from. Como offers a perfect blend of natural beauty, culture, and leisurely charm, making it an ideal gateway to exploring Lake Como. My second recommendation would be to take a day to explore the town of Como. It's not just a base camp to access the other towns on the lake, but there are some fun and scenic things to check out. Here are a few things I would recommend to do. Begin your visit in the historic center, where elegant piazzas and narrow streets lead you to the magnificent Cathedral of Santa Maria Assunta, also known as the Duomo di Como. Its marble facade and richly detailed interiors reflect centuries of craftsmanship. The Duomo di Como's exterior is a breathtaking fusion of Gothic and Renaissance artistry. Its majestic facade, completed in the 15th century, features a stunning rose window and intricately carved statues. Towering spires and ornate portals draw the eye upward, while the gleaming white marble reflects the light of Lake Como nearby, giving the cathedral a glow. The dome, added in 1744, crowns the structure with Rococo elegance, completing a visual symphony that took nearly 400 years to complete. It's a masterpiece that commands admiration from every angle. Nearby, you can stroll along Piazza Cavour, the lively heart of the city, where cafes and gelaterias spill out onto the lakeside promenade, perfect for people watching and soaking in the views of sailboats gliding across the water. For panoramic views, ride the funicular railway from Como to Bernate, a charming hilltop village perched above the lake. The short ride offers sweeping vistas across the lake and the Alps. We enjoyed a quick lunch at a local trattoria overlooking the lake. The food was excellent with tableside views of the landscape. Unfortunately for us, it was a hazy day and the views were limited, which can often be the case in Lake Como from what I've learned. But even on a hazy day, I would still recommend visiting Bernate and exploring this quaint village perched up on the hill above Como. I would also recommend taking a hike to the Volta Lighthouse. It's approximately 1 mile from the funicular railway station and is steep in some sections, but the views from the lighthouse are spectacular on a clear day. If it is hazy, then it may not be worth it, but if you just love to explore and love hiking, then you still might want to consider it as you get to meander down alleys and the streets of Bernate. It was a pleasant walk along cobblestone streets and stone steps as we made our way up to the lighthouse. We loved getting away from the crowds, hearing the birds chirp, and kids playing as we walked through the neighborhoods of this quaint town. To wrap up the day, dine at a lakefront trattoria, savoring risotto, fresh fish, and a glass of Lombard wine as the sunset reflects gold and rose across the water. Whether you're drawn by history, scenery, or simple Italian charm, Como offers a little of everything, wrapped in elegance and framed by the magic of the lake. Finally, I recommend taking at least one day to explore the different towns on Lake Como, multiple days if you have them. But if you only have one day, then I would visit the postcard perfect towns of Bellagio and Marina, each with their cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, and lakeside promenades. A day visiting Bellagio and Marina by boat is a journey through the very soul of Lake Como, where beauty, history, and tranquility flow together in perfect harmony. Your adventure begins on the shimmering water as you board a ferry from Como. The gentle hum of the boat and the cool lake breeze set the tone for the day ahead. You will first reach Bellagio. The approach to Bellagio, the pearl of the lake, is breathtaking. Its pastel buildings and stone stairways climbing gracefully up the peninsula where the two arms of Lake Como meet. A morning in Bellagio is the perfect blend of peaceful beauty, local charm, and timeless elegance. Begin your day with a stroll along the lakefront promenade, where you can watch the sunlight sparkle on the water as ferries glide in and out of the harbor. The air is crisp and fragrant with flowers from nearby gardens, and the pastel facades of the buildings glow softly in the morning light. Stop at a lakeside cafe for a cappuccino and a fresh pastry while you take in the tranquil view of the surrounding mountains and villages across the lake. Next, take a peaceful walk through the gardens of Via Melzi, just a short stroll south of the center. These beautifully landscaped gardens stretch along the lake that lead to quiet benches overlooking the water. It's the perfect place to slow down, breathe deeply, and enjoy the harmony of the gardens and the lake before continuing your day. Then make your way up into the historic center, a maze of narrow cobblestone streets and stairways that wind between stone houses and flower-filled balconies. Explore Salita Cerbione, Bellagio's most picturesque lane, lined with small boutiques, artisan shops, and inviting gelaterias. Here you can browse for hand-woven silk scarves, olive oil, or ceramics, all made locally. As you wander higher, pause to admire the views opening up behind you, the blue expanse of Lake Como framed by cypress trees and terracotta rooftops. Finally, I recommend visiting the Punta Spartiviento. It has one of the most iconic viewpoints on Lake Como. This scenic spot marks the exact point where the three branches of the lake meet, offering a sweeping panoramic view of the water and surrounding mountains. Standing there, you can see the northern arm stretching toward the Alps, and the two southern arms unfolding toward Como and Lecco, all shimmering beneath the changing light. It's a breathtaking moment of geography and beauty combined. It's only about a 10-minute walk from Bellagio's town center, making it an easy and pleasant stroll through charming lanes and past lakeside gardens. When you reach the point, you'll find a small park with benches and a peaceful atmosphere, perfect for photos, quiet reflection, or simply soaking in the views. Many travelers describe it as the perfect way to begin or end their time in Bellagio, a place where you can truly appreciate why Lake Como has inspired artists, poets, and dreamers for centuries. Depending on how long you want to linger in Bellagio, you may want to consider having lunch in one of the charming squares, or catch the ferry to its next destination, Menagio. We didn't stop at Menagio, but looking back, I wish we would have at least had lunch there and enjoyed this picturesque coastal town. It was beautiful from our approach from the ferry, and is worth a quick stop or even longer if you can work it into your day. But be mindful of the ferry schedule, especially if you are still wanting to visit Verona, which I highly recommend, and the ferry you need to catch to get back to Como. All things you need to consider when planning your day around Lake Como. Instead of stopping at Menagio, we were anxious to get to Verona. Verona is one of Lake Como's most romantic and picturesque villages. place where medieval charm meets serene lakeside beauty. As the ferry glides towards Verona, pastel-colored houses and terracotta rooftops emerge from the lush green hillside, framed by the shimmering waters of Lake Como. The town's charming promenade and stone stairways beckon visitors with a storybook welcome, nestled beneath the shadow of alpine peaks. Begin your visit along the scenic lakeside promenade that connects the ferry dock to the heart of the village. The walkway curves along the water's edge, lined with vibrant flowers and wrought iron railings, offering postcard-perfect views of Bellagio across the lake. It's a beautiful introduction to Verona's relaxed rhythm and intimate atmosphere. Next, explore Piazza San Giorgio, the cobbled main square surrounded by centuries-old buildings. Here you'll find the Church of San Giorgio, a simple yet elegant Romanesque church dating back to the 14th century, adorned with frescoes and stone carvings that speak to the town's deep history. From the square, wander toward the lakefront to visit Via Monastero, one of Verona's true treasures with its lush botanical gardens cascading down to the water. This was our favorite part of not only Verona, but our entire trip to Lake Como. The botanical gardens stretch for nearly a mile along the shore with palm trees and marble statues. Strolling through the botanical gardens feels like wandering through a lakeside dream, where exotic plants and manicured hedges frame sweeping views of Lake Como. The scent of citrus and roses mingles with the fresh mountain air as you follow winding paths past statues, fountains, and bursts of color in every direction. Whether you spend a few hours or a full day, Verona enchants with its blend of history, romance, and natural splendor. Again, be mindful of the ferry schedules and your return trip back to Como. It is easy to let time slip away from you in this postcard paradise. And as far as the return ferry, take the slow ferry back to Como. The slow ferry gives you a visual tour of Lake Como's most picturesque villages and villas. It's like a floating postcard gallery. Unlike the fast hydrofoil, which is enclosed and focused on speed, the slow ferry lets you sit outside, feel the breeze, and soak in the views. It's perfect for photography, journaling, or simply unwinding as the lake unfolds around you. The slower pace encourages a more mindful travel experience. Instead of rushing back, you get to savor the transition from tranquil Verona to bustling Como, watching the landscape shift with every bend in the lake. Lake Como is one of the most breathtakingly beautiful places in the world. Nestled at the foot of the Alps, the lake shimmers like liquid silver beneath snow-capped peaks. Its deep blue waters framed by lush gardens, cypress trees, and colorful villages that seem to cling gracefully to the hillsides. The view unfolds like a postcard at every turn, each curve revealing a new panorama more stunning than the last. Lake Como is also a place to reconnect with nature, with beauty, and with yourself. You can hike scenic trails overlooking the lake, explore historic churches and villas, or simply sit by the water and let the tranquility wash over you. In the evening, as the sun sets behind the mountains and the lights of the villages shimmer on the water, you'll understand why travelers have fallen in love with this place for centuries. Visiting Lake Como isn't just a trip, it's an experience of a serenity and splendor that lingers long after you leave.